It's the sounds of your childhood fairy tales in one pedal. What's going on, my friends? It's your good buddy SPJ here, and welcome back to Stompbox Saturday. For today's episode, I'm going to encourage you to get into your coziest pajamas possible, maybe tuck yourself into bed, and maybe snuggle up with a cute little teddy bear as we explore the bedtime story sounds located inside Yore by Walrus Audio. What exactly is Yore? Well, it's an ambient soundscape generator that, in my opinion, takes a lot of cues from another one of my favorite Walrus audio pedals, Slow. And whereas Slow is the sound of your dreams, the sound of those things you see once your eyes are closed, Yore is the sound of those stories designed to lull you into that sense of sleep. Both are amazing ambient effect generators, but there's something about Yore that's a little bit special. This beautifully illustrated pedal is home to 8 different controls, 2 foot switches, and a few sneaky things you can do with them as well. Let's go over the knobs. On the top row, we have feedback, regen, mod, and mix. And on the bottom row, X, time, tone, and program. Now, the ones that are going to be the most self-explanatory are the second half of the pedal, being mix, mod, tone, and program. Mix is going to set your wet-dry blend, like it does for most every pedal that it's on. Mod is a depth control for a modulation inside Yore. Now, you can press and hold the bypass foot switch and turn the mod knob in order to set the modulation rate. So you get those nice wide vibrato warbles, or just make it really nuts and fast and crazy. The tone is basically a tone control, but it does some different things depending on which program you have selected. And the program knob is a 5-position switch that allows you to select the various different effects built into Yore. Now, why I'm not going over feedback, regen, X, and time is because depending on the different programs selected, they do change their behaviors. So I'll give you a little bit of a rundown when we check out each program of what exactly they're doing. Program 1 combines a reverse delay with a reverse reverb. So if you want to get your shoegaze on, this is a good place to start. Now, when you have program 1 selected, feedback is going to set the number of reverse delay repeats, whereas the regen knob is going to control the feedback of the reverse reverb. The X control on this particular program is connected to the reverse echo, and basically it allows you to decide how reversed your reverse delays are going to be. You can use the time knob or the tap tempo foot switch to set the delay time of the reverse echo. Now, the tone is a different kind of tone control in that it's a bandpass filter on the sound that is generated. So basically think of it kind of like the filtering effect of a wah. You're getting more of a mid-range pronounced effect than anything else. So with that all being said, let's shut up and let's play something. have to admit, I am never really a huge fan of reverse reverb, but this particular combination on program 1 I like a lot. Now let's move on to program 2, which is going to give us a reverse echo with an octave up reverb. Feedback does the same thing that it did on program 1, but the regen allows us to dial in a certain amount of octave up repeats that then feed the reverb tank of the reverse reverb. The X control on program 2 becomes the decay time of the reverse reverb, and the time knob doing exactly what it did at program 1, setting that delay time for the reverse echoes. Now, the tone control on this instead is a low pass filter applied to the reverb, which is kind of cool. You can make it a really, really dark reverse reverb, which I think works really well with some fuzz. But at the end of the day, we just need to hear it and you just need to experience it. And this is definitely one of my favorites. It's time for program 3. Now, I don't know whether it's just happenstance of 3 being my favorite number, but I think program 3 may just be my favorite on Yore. It combines a reverse delay with an octave down reverb. So it's going to be great for a lot of doomy kind of stuff. It's just so much fun. So, how exactly do the controls change on this one? Feedback is going to do the same thing with the number of delay repeats in the reverse echo. The regen is now going to control the amount of octave down delays feeding the reverb tank. So very similar to what program 2 does, just now instead of octave up, it's octave down. The X control is once again the decay time of our reverse reverb, and the time knob again setting the delay time for the reverse echo. Now the tone control is once again a low pass filter. However, with the octave down reverb, it adds in a layer of harmonic distortion, which harmonic distortion on reverse reverb with a low pass filter and octave down. This program was made for not just shoegaze, it was made for doom. So there's going to be some fuzz coming in on this one, and I had a whole lot of fun with it. if there's one other program on Yore that either is a close second to program number 3 or even a tie for first place, it's program 4. And it is something that I've gotten into quite a bit, and that is stacking multiple reverbs. Program 4 combines a reverse reverb with a forward reverb. 2 big washy ambient reverbs coming from one pedal, and it is so much fun. Now, this particular program is where Yore changes quite drastically with its controls. The feedback is connected to the reverse reverb, and it's adding in an octave down effect to that reverse reverb. And at the same time, it's also the feedback amount of the reverse reverb. Regen is an octave up effect that can be added to the reverse reverb, as well as an additional level of control for the feedback of the reverse reverb. Modulation and mix remain the same, and the X control is once again the decay time of the reverb effects. Now, the time control is changed into something very different from the other 3 programs we've already looked at. Instead of connecting to a delay line, it's actually a time stretching effect for the reverb. This is a good opportunity to explore that dive and rise, where we can sort of set a amount of diving low stretching artifact and then letting go, and it kind of rises back to a more fast setting. And then finally, the tone control is once again a low pass filter. This was the setting that you heard at the intro of this video, and you're going to hear that same sound right now, but a few others, because yeah, I think I might take it back. Program 4 is my favorite. Just listen. now we come to program 5, which combines a pitch delay running into another pitch delay. And the way that Walrus describes it is that the two pitch delays are dueling delays, the effects of which kind of sound like an arpeggiator. So let's talk about how the controls change so we can hear this. Feedback and regeneration both control the amount of pitch delayed repeats that we're going to hear, each one corresponding to one of the pitch delays. Modulation and mix function exactly as they normally do, but the X control this time controls the amount of the pitch repeats and the orientation of those pitch shifts that you hear in the delay repeats. It basically cycles through perfect fourth, perfect fifth, and octaves of your original sound. So basically, you're just going to be turning this knob until you find the appropriate combination of the pitch delays that you want to hear. The time control once again controls our delay time. So use that or the tap tempo foot switch to set the repeat rate of your delay. And then finally, the tone control, which is once again a bandpass filter, but it does it in a very interesting way. It applies that bandpass filtering to the output as well as the feedback loop of the pitch delays, leading to some very interesting tonalities that really are quite creative. So why don't we dial in a sound with it and have a little bit of fun with some fairy dust. I think I'll call this setting that, fairy dust. Have it, friends. That is the Yore ambient sound generator from my buddies at Walrus Audio. I don't think anybody really does simple ambient pedals quite like Walrus does it. There's an uncanny ability with this team to put together a pedal that is so infinitely tweakable, but doesn't have a large gap for a barrier of entry. Pretty much anybody that has been using effects pedals for some time can plug this thing in and find a really cool sound to make some new music with. I don't think every one of these effects is for everyone. There's definitely going to be some people that don't like some of the programs, whereas others will enjoy those ones. I personally find the most inspiration from program 2, 3, and 4. But of course, all of this is just one guitar player's opinion. I want to know what you think. What was your favorite program on Yore? And if you choose to get one for yourself, what's the first thing you're going to play through it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And I'd love it if you joined my email newsletter club, where videos, links like this and others are sent direct to your email inbox when they get uploaded. You can do so by clicking the card in the top right-hand corner of this screen, entering this URL into your web browser of choice, or do the simple thing. Click the link in the description box down below. There's also some affiliate links in the description box that allow you to buy your everyday gear needs and purchases to Sweetwater, Amazon, things like that without any added cost, and then I get a little kickback to help support what I do here on this channel. All those links, once again, down in the description box. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and please let me know if you have any questions. Until we see each other next, my friends, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, wishing you all watching great tone, great health, and of course, happy stomping. Cheers, friends. I'll see you in the future. God bless.